Give us an update about the ARAS project.
All right, thank you, Valerie. I think the latest update for Arad is that there's a lot of progress being made now.
Mm.
Like I said to you when I met with you the last time, the project started at a slow pace
Mm.
as a result of the COVID-19 disruption of the economy
Okay.
and the education sector being human sensitive, human interaction center sector is not like other sector where they're discussing physical structure, where you are discussing actually human beings, students, teachers, families, etc.
Mm.
And given that the country was locked down for some time during the heat of the COVID-19, so we had some slow movement on the project. And that affected us very grossly, I must admit this, and we have been struggling to see how we can take the project from problem status. Because when
Okay.
that happened after some time, the World Bank just used their scientific indicators and they don't have time for whether there was COVID or not.
Mm.
For according to them, they factor in the COVID or situation. However, they classify the project as a problem project because the disbursement was low, activities were not doing fine. But as I speak to you, that story has changed now. We give ourselves some challenging milestones to meet. And then as of October, during the World Bank IMF Spring meeting, it was decided by the World Bank board that the RISE project has made tremendous progress.
Okay.
So as it stands now, it's no longer a problem project. Everything is going fine, and it was done unimaginably.
Mm.
So we are doing fine with the rating of the project right now. As I speak to you currently, we have the construction aspect going fine.
Okay.
We signed all of the contracts for construction of the schools. We have started turning over the sites to the contractors. So like in Banga, in Nimba, in let's say Ganta, and in Kakata, those big schools that we are building in the county, we have turned the site over already to the contractors.
Mm.
And our expectation is that they will commence with 14 days after the site is turned over to them. So we expect about now they have started their work, but they deal with the community now and not us unless
Okay.
we go for monitoring.
Your only job was to turn the sites over.
Over to them, yeah. And then they are now working with the local authorities. They're seeing what they are
But
doing.
you still keeping an eye on.
Oh yeah, we have our site supervision firm that has supervisors on them. We ourselves will go there regularly to see what they are doing, see what they are still working according to our designs or plan or what have you. So that will continue to happen. But it's just
Okay.
starting now, so we have to give them some chance to work for at least a month or so.
Why is it important to still be looking after them?
It's important. Anyone that, in management, you say you plan, you organize resources to execute the plan, you direct the resources, to execute the plan. You don't stop there. After you are leading the resources to execute the plan, you have to control.
Okay.
You have to know as to whether they are doing the things according to your plan. Implementation, is it going according to your plan? So that's why you have to always go and check on them, all right? Because if you don't do that, they could do something contrary to what you earlier planned to receive, so your expectation would not be met, even though work has been done.
Okay.
And that is tantamount to no work.
Yeah.
You understand? So we have to continuously monitor them. On the 5 JSS schools that are going to be expanded to SS, also contracts have been signed.
What is the GSS?
Oh, junior high school. Let me speak Liberian way now.
Yeah.
I'm speaking standard.
Yeah.
The junior high schools.
Yeah, because we have so many people listening. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So the junior high schools that we are expanding to senior high schools, about 25 of them. We have also signed the contracts. Some of them, the sites have been turned over also to the contractors and they have started work. For example, I know in Nimba County, in Spain, we don't via Togma Junior High, the contractor has started work already. He was in our office yesterday with the local leadership there from the school. He has started mobilizing resources.
So they are elevating the junior high to senior
to
high.
the senior high.
So how is it done? Is it that they are building extra annexes,
Yes,
or they
yes.
just demolish everything?
No,
and
no,
come?
no. Why is there stays there? You be an extra annex for 10, 11, 12. You
Okay.
put laboratory and put everything that senior high supposed to have.
Oh,
Right
okay.
there, yeah. So that's what they are doing. Or the same thing with Bon County, Kokoya District. The contractor have started also. The far to reach counties, we are expecting that this week our team will go there and turn the site over to the contractor, working with the community people. So before, maybe let's say the 7th of October, because as a matter of fact, from the 7th of
The
October,
7th?
yeah, of October,
November,
yeah.
Yeah.
The 7th of November,
Yeah.
or the World Bank will be visiting Liberia specifically to review the project performance, right?
Ah, okay.
Yeah, to see how far we have gone and document some things. They will even go in the field to see what is happening on the girls' scholarship, on the renovation school. They
The
want to
various components.
see, yeah, they will have to go and see. So that will happen between November 7 to November 18. And before then, we want to make sure all the construction sites are active. Contractors should have their site turned over to them and they are already working. So there we are. The girls scholarship also, we are doing fine. Our people are in the field right now, ensuring that the girls that deliberately decide to drop out of high school will track them and bring them back to high school. And then the feedback I'm getting from the guys in the field is very, very encouraging. Grand Basel, who were trying to push the girls to go to school and they were not doing it, but from the last report I have, the target number we had, we have already exceeded it because of the intervention of the awareness program. The same things happening in Sando, the same things happening in Grand Cru, in Cape Mount, in Bapulu, all across the 7 counties that we have targeted to increase girls' enrollment and completion of the senior secondary level. So the project is going very far. It's one of the babies of the World Bank now. The thing that is giving their portfolio a very good image.
Okay. You say how much is that project cost?
34 million special drawing right. That's the World Bank currency, equivalent to 47 billion as at the time the project was signed. Currently close to 15 million.
So we have 156 public schools across the country that are being renovated.
Yes.
Okay.
And out of the 156 public schools, about 154, the money is given to them in trenches. First trench, second trench, third trench. About 154 have received their second trench.
Okay.
And then have even reported on their second trench so they can receive their third trench.
Yeah.
Out of that, about 66 have been cleared and they have received their third trench because it's based on the level at which
And
you do your work.
they are making progress.
They're making good progress. And like I said the last time on the show, they are doing the work that they're supposed to do very well. But the capacity to follow the regulation on the book in terms of procurement, in terms of financial management, there are small hitches, but we are working with them to build their capacity around that. Do not forget, a school principal that have not received even $2,000 US before at once, you are giving him $55,000 to manage and renovate school, community post. So the rigorous financial management procedures of Liberia that is governed by the Public Financial Management Law of Liberia, the rigorous procurement procedure that is governed by the PPCC, they are not too used to those things, so you have to work with them gradually, you have to understand them. And because we say it's a community empowerment approach, right? The World Bank is saying if it is a community empowerment approach, then you cannot come with your straight jacket rules that are on your book. You have to see what works for the community.
And make it flexible.
And make it flexible. Just there should be value for money. Yeah. But emphasize what is workable, not what is on the book. So I'll give you an example. When you go to Nima County, I think it's Gapley after is that not Sakriti? When you are going down to Lugatu, Campley. After Campley, there's another small town behind that have a little high school. In fact, almost all the schools in Nimba, what did they do? Our law says you should make sure the contractor sign the contract with you. They use their own money to provide the resources and do the work. Then, based on the level of work they send to you, you verify and satisfy. Then you pay them, right? No, those guys didn't go by that. They went withdrew the money from their account and kept it in the vault in the school, managed by some members of the community. So when the contractor comes, what all you need, they follow you, they go and buy them and give them to you and keep their receipts. When you finish doing your work, they now pay you under your workmanship. You cannot trace anything that corruption eating money, no. In fact, it helps them to have more value for money because the contractor could not exploit them. If the contractors want to go buy the goods on their own, they could inflate the price and say, I bought it this, and the community did everything. And they gave the material to the contractor to do the work. For all, that was a lesson learned from this exercise. That's a true community empowerment approach. You cannot now go and say, we are condemning that, it's against the law. They didn't work well.
No.
Was the school constructed or renovated? Was there value for money in what they have done?
So that method you think can be, implemented?
That's what I'm emphasizing. Yeah, that's what I'm emphasizing.
More modernize it well and implement it.
Thank you. That's what I'm emphasizing. When you see what the people are doing, the community is working for them in good faith. Then you replicate that. You make that a standard way of doing things for another community to adapt. Because it's not all the time the conventional way we put it. It's not all the time the conventional way we work. That's what makes it a community empowerment approach, not conventional approach.
Yeah, because in community development, they say you have to make the community comfortable.
Comfortable. We call it genuine participation.
Yeah.
Right? Let them so that it come from them. How they think it works for them, let them bring it up and you support them. So that's
and that can help in implementing the project smoothly.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. The communities are doing well. I'm telling you, about 66 of them have received that. 56 of them have received their second tranche. Their third tranche, which means they have gotten their last money to just do the finishing touches. And some of them, in fact, there's another thing we observe. Why we said the money to be given to contractors at every trench. After the trench, you review everything, and then you satisfy the work, and then you get in the next one, then you go look for contractor. Some schools didn't do it that way. They look at their entire plan and give it to one contractor. And they told the contractor, if you have your money, go ahead and do all. We will now get the money from the Ministry of Education and be paying you by installment.
So almost like pre-financed.
Yes. Some communities did that, especially far in the southeast. They know it's very difficult to get materials to Maryland, to Grand Creek, to July District, and what have you. They didn't wait for our procedure we put on the book that, well, you get the first trench, you sign a contract with a contractor, after you go another procurement process for the second trench. They didn't do that. Some of them gave contract out 100% to the contractor and said, look, we trust that if you do good work, the Ministry of Education will give this money. And I can tell you some of them did the work faster and completed it. So the onus is now on us to review the work and see whether it's satisfactory and give the money. We did that in the second train. We did the second train. They paid the contractor the second train money. We are now at the third train. The contractor has been the entire work ever since. It's just waiting for our procedures. And for me, that also is understandable. Why? Maryland is not a Maserado. To get bag of cement, a bundle of zinc from here to Maryland County, especially when you allow the rain season to set in, you are wasting your time. They may have to go to Africa Coast to buy them. So for me, it was proactive for them to look at the contractor and say, don't wait for the procedure on the book. Do everything at a time that is workable, and then we will now pay you step by step until we can in installment until we can complete your payment. For me, these are lessons learned from the process that we can put that and contextualize policies and programs in line with the environment you are speaking about or the community you are speaking about. Instead just taking the theory on the book and then making everything conventional. There's the way it should be. How
straight jacket.
You're like everyone, how can do it here?
Anyway, Mr. Kezulu, let's come to the construction of the three. Let's come back to it. The construction of the three modern high schools in Magibi, Bong, and Nimba counties.
Yeah.
Do these construction projects have duration? Like how many months or how many years will take for a high school to be constructed, completed, and dedicated? Do we have a duration?
Oh yes, under the Arise project. The construction of the three modern high schools in Kakata, Banga, and Kanta has a duration of 14 months.
14 months?
Yes. 14 months period, you must complete
1 year, 2 months?
Yes.
Okay.
It's scheduled at that level. So any contractor has in fact then starting in October. So we expect that November, December next year, everything is 100% turned over. All right? Around July to October next year, we are asking them, can you expedite everything that we can actually turn the site over? Of course, you can understand why we are going that route. That we can turn the site over before the election, because after the election, there are some distractions. So some of them are making commitment to, you have 8 and 14 months on the book, we can turn the site over to you 11 months. Some of them are saying even 10 months. So there's a competition between them too. Okay. Of course, it's pre-finance. You spend your money based on the level of work we pay you. So the more you delay, the more the money delay with us. So I think I'm optimistic that those sites will be turned over to the Ministry of Education no later than October next year.
And with the team coming from the World Bank to inspect what's going on the ground with respect to the project, you also want them to at least let them have something on the ground.
Exactly. For this visit, for this mission, the focus is on the community empowerment approach. How well has it been working? So they will go to the renovation schools. They will go to GW Gibson. How we met GW Gibson.
The girls?
No, they also visit the school for the girls' intervention.
Okay.
But the emphasis will be the community empowerment approach under the renovation of the 156 schools. Okay. How we receive GW Gibson? How far GW Gibson now? I thought we give them 55,000 or 50,000. How we receive
how many trenches?
B, exactly. Yankwe B in Palala. How the school was looking. How many trenches we have given them. How far they have
So you have before and
yes, we have before.
You have pictorials.
We have pictorials of all the schools for before and then what has in fact work in progress and currently where we are now. We have somebody documenting that our audio visual communication specialist is helping us to document all of that for the mission.
And you think the team will be impressed?
More than impressed. I'm comfortable. I'm convinced. Under the RI project, we can see the dividends of development project clearly. It's not on paper.
Now talk us through, the procurement process, because this is something, even though we say there is this level of flexibility in the project, but talk us through the procurement process, the bidding, especially
school grants. like I said, we contextualize by the law. The procurement process is not different from what is in the book for PPCC. 3 quotations minimum, given the threshold. Nobody is getting more than 100,000, so it's request for quotations. So 3 quotations minimum. It must be advertised in the local radio, on the local radio station, published at the administrative buildings of the various communities, etc., so that others can see it. And then you receive not less than 3 quotations, and you analyze, then you do your quotation analysis and select the best quotation in terms of price and the value of work to be done. However, we were flexible given the situation. I'll give you an example. I don't know the area name very, I know why it's Belema. There's a school called Copra Giddings in Sanoye district, right? Pong County.
Yeah, I think it's Kepler Giddings.
Kepler Giddings, yes.
Yeah, in Sanoye area.
Yeah, Copra is in another area in Pong County, Copra Ward, G or something.
Yeah.
There's another school called Copra G Ward, I don't know the names very well, but yes, those are schools that are far from the main city. They are not on the main road. So yes, they did what we said they should do, but they couldn't find a 3 quotation. In fact, they couldn't even find one. You know what I'm saying? They published it, they made local registration to carry, nobody came around. They couldn't even find one quotation to be submitted to them. So what they had to do, they now have to go out to start looking for individual vendor. So, we'll get this work, come and do it for us. Are you now going to tell them that if that one person says, or that one company says, yeah, we'll come and do it, they should stay print the quotations before you move ahead? It will not move ahead.
You can start it.
Yeah.
You can start the process
because of 3 quotation rules. So in those situations, what we told them was that just write us and give us your situation. And we will do our independent analysis of the situation and we can make a judgment. So in some of those instances, we told them, okay, the one company you're working with, go ahead and work with them. All right. So those kind of flexibility.
But you also investigated the company too.
Oh yeah. You have to investigate the company. They are honest company. They are registered with the business registry. They are recognized by public work as people that should carry out civil works, the renovations, etc. Because public work has a regulatory arm that provides certification to civil work contract companies, and it's in different categories. There are people that are giving certificate to construct roads. There are people that are giving certificate to construct bridges. There are people giving certificate to just do manual plumbing and other things. There are people giving certificate to do construction of
but they step above their bound.
Yes, exactly.
Do other things.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What I'm speaking to is that when we receive the company name, we want to make sure that you are in resting with public work.
Yeah.
The certificate they give you are working within that certificate. So we can say, yeah, this company is qualified. And then you also have our tax clearance. You are not owing the Liberian government any tax. And then you also have an active business registration certificate. These are the things that we can just look at and use some common sense and say you can't hold the school or the community down with development just because of conventional public procurement rules. So that's the way we have been working it. We've been marrying the two. We follow the law, but we also see where we need to be contextual. We become contextual about it.
Okay, so if you just joined us, you're listening to Education at Midweek. Here we're discussing the ARAS project, and Mr. Abraham Kiazulu, coordinator and technical lead for the ARAS project, supported by the World Bank, is our guest right here on the Super Morning Show. Now, Mr. Kiazulu, just before we go to the next aspect of the talking points here, just summarize the current status, what will be happening in the coming months, where we are right now. Just summarize briefly before we go to the next talking point.
Thank you. So the ARAS project is a $47 million project, first of all, that started since October 15, 2019, but it operated on a slow pace because of the COVID-19, but it has picked up now. Currently, we have infrastructure component that has to do with the renovation of schools and the construction of new schools, and I can let you know on this air that the renovation of school has gone more than 80% across the country. The construction of school, we have awarded all the contracts, civil works will be starting this month. The expansion of schools in the same category, all contracts have been awarded, site turnover, civil work will be starting this month. The girls' education intervention is also going fine. We have a target of 3,000 students. Currently, we have 2,500 we have gotten. And the record is telling us now from what we're going to be going above the number we are targeting. So instead of just giving blanket of recruitment, we may start doing some selection now.
So how many
which
girls
is
are we
very
talking
bad.
about to benefit?
We are targeting 3,000 girls. And
From across the country?
from across 7 counties.
7, oh.
And we have been struggling to get those girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have been struggling to
Even
get...
though it's important to them?
Yes, we have been struggling to get 7,000 girls in 7 counties: Bapodu, Bombing, Cape Mount, Grand Bassa, Sando, River Cess, and Grand Crew.
Why are you struggling?
They are not in school. You can't find them. You have to be in senior high for us to put you on a scholarship.
So you're trying to say the statistic is we don't have more girls in
they are
senior
dropping
high.
out. You know how they drop out? They go to the Goldman.
In these counties?
In these counties, they go to Goldman, they go to businesses. I'm a set interface with girls in Grand Bazaar. And she told me, boldly in my face, that I prefer going to do my business. If you allow me to go to next school, maybe I will try. I prefer my business. I have to set that girl down, explain my own history to her, where I came from. Somebody who lost their father at the age of 12 to 13. And I started sitting on the streets of Monrovia to go to school. And I told her I was sitting on the streets of Monrovia, right on the traffic. And then went to Muslim Congress. From there, I went to Simberi. And I ended up in Tokmaha, paying my own school fees, paying my own, motivate that guy to the point that I left this country and went outside for study. I didn't get any degree in Liberia. I have 4 degrees now, all from outside Liberia. Nigeria, South Africa, Italy, etc.
You need to get 1 year. Yeah.
I was telling her how much I'm making now. The one that was living in a small little room when it rains in Claratown, I would match and set on my head and stay in the water for a rain to go down small so I can